Welcome to my channel. Today I am going to tell about a story which is called Pippa's Panda Princess Playground. Enjoy it! Once upon a time, in a magical forest nestled between two mountains, there lived a young girl named Pippa. Pippa was a curious and adventurous soul who loved to explore the wonders of the forest every chance she got. But what Pippa loved most of all was spending time with her best friend, a gentle panda named Pearl. Pearl wasn't just any ordinary panda, she was the guardian of the forest and had a special connection with Pippa. Together, they would embark on all sorts of adventures, from climbing trees to splashing in the sparkling streams that wound through the forest. One sunny morning, as Pippa and Pearl were playing hide-and-seek among the tall trees, they stumbled upon a hidden clearing deep in the heart of the forest. But this wasn't just any clearing, it was a magical playground unlike anything they had ever seen before. The playground was filled with colorful swings, slides, and climbing frames, all crafted from the finest bamboo and decorated with flowers and ribbons. But what truly took Pippa's breath away was the sight of a majestic castle nestled at the center of the playground. With its towering turrets and shimmering spires, the castle looked like something out of a fairy tale. And standing proudly at the entrance was a beautiful panda princess, her fur as white as freshly fallen snow and her eyes twinkling with mischief. Pippa couldn't believe her eyes. "Who are you?" she asked in awe. The panda princess smiled warmly. "I am Princess Petal, ruler of this magical playground," she said. "And you must be Pippa, the brave adventurer I've heard so much about." Pippa's heart swelled with pride. She had never met a real-life princess before, let alone one as kind and welcoming as Princess Petal. Princess Petal invited Pippa and Pearl to explore the playground to their heart's content. Together, they raced down the slides, swung from the swings, and climbed to the top of the castle's tallest tower. As the day drew to a close and the sun began to set behind the mountains, Pippa and Pearl reluctantly bid farewell to Princess Petal and the magical playground. But as they made their way back home through the forest, Pippa couldn't stop smiling. She knew that she had discovered a special place, a place where she could always return whenever she needed a bit of magic in her life. And as she curled up in bed that night, she drifted off to sleep with visions of Princess Petal and the Panda Princess Playground dancing in her head. Little did she know, their adventure was only just beginning. The next morning, Pippa woke up with a spring in her step and a twinkle in her eye. She couldn't wait to return to the Panda Princess Playground and see what other wonders it held. After breakfast, she grabbed Pearl's paw, and together they set off into the forest. As they approached the clearing where the playground lay hidden, Pippa's heart skipped a beat. But when they emerged into the sunlight, something was different. The swings were still swaying gently in the breeze, and the castle still sparkled in the morning light, but there was a sense of sadness hanging in the air. Pippa furrowed her brow in confusion. "What's wrong?" she asked Princess Petal, who was waiting for them at the entrance. Princess Petal sighed heavily. "I'm afraid our magical playground is in danger," she said solemnly. "A wicked enchantress has cast a spell over the forest, draining it of its magic and turning everything she touches to stone." Pippa's eyes widened in horror. She couldn't bear the thought of losing the Panda Princess Playground, not after she had just discovered it. "But fear not, brave Pippa," Princess Petal continued, her voice filled with determination. "With your help, we can defeat the enchantress and restore magic to the forest once more." Pippa nodded eagerly. She may have been young, but she was brave and determined, just like her heroines in the books she loved to read. Together, Pippa, Pearl, and Princess Petal set off into the forest, following the trail of the enchantress's dark magic. Along the way, they encountered all sorts of challenges, from treacherous ravines to menacing creatures that lurked in the shadows. But with courage and determination, they pressed on, their friendship giving them strength even in the darkest of times. And as they drew closer to the source of the enchantress's power, they could feel the magic of the forest growing stronger with every step they took. Finally, they reached the heart of the forest, where the enchantress lay waiting for them, her eyes glowing with malice. With a wave of her hand, she summoned dark clouds to blot out the sun and sent torrents of rain crashing down upon them. But Pippa refused to be intimidated. With a defiant cry, she charged forward, her heart filled with hope and determination. And as she faced off against the enchantress in a battle of wills, she knew that she would not fight alone. For she had her best friend by her side, and together, they were unstoppable. As Pippa stood face to face with the wicked enchantress, she felt a surge of power coursing through her veins. She remembered all the adventures she had shared with Pearl, all the challenges they had overcome together, and she knew that they were stronger than any magic the enchantress could conjure. With a flick of her wrist, Pippa summoned the magic of the forest to her aid. Vines sprouted from the ground, wrapping themselves around the enchantress's feet and binding her in place. The dark clouds above began to part, allowing the warm rays of the sun to filter through once more. The enchantress shrieked in rage as her powers were weakened by the light of day. With one final effort, she unleashed a blast of dark energy towards Pippa, but before it could reach her, Pearl stepped in front, taking the full force of the blast. For a moment, everything seemed to stand still as Pippa watched in horror. But then, with a soft glow of light, Pearl began to transform. Her fur shimmered and sparkled, and when the light faded, she stood before Pippa as Princess Pearl, the true guardian of the forest. With a mighty roar, Princess Pearl unleashed her own magic upon the enchantress, breaking the spell she had cast over the forest and banishing her from the land forever. As the last echoes of the enchantress's cries faded into the distance, Pippa and Princess Pearl stood side by side, gazing out over the forest they had saved. The Panda Princess Playground was safe once more, and the magic of the forest had returned stronger than ever before. With tears of joy in her eyes, Pippa hugged Princess Pearl tightly, grateful for her bravery and friendship. And as they made their way back to the playground, they knew that their adventures were far from over. For in the heart of the forest, where the sun always shines and the magic never fades, Pippa and Princess Pearl would always be together, ready to face whatever challenges came their way. And so, with laughter in their hearts and a spring in their step, they set off into the sunset, ready for whatever adventures awaited them next. I hope you enjoy listening to Pippa's Panda Princess Playground.